Do I have a motion to approve April 10th, 2018 minutes and May 8th, 2018 agenda?
I so move. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. Tom, would you read the treasury report?
Beginning balance as of April the 1st, 2018 for County General was $1,779,759.35. Revenues for the month were $491,712.61. Disbursements for the month were $528,051.28. Resulting in a balance on April 30th, 2018 for County General of $1,743,420.68. Beginning balance as of April the 1st, 2018 for county roads was $1,844,363.69. Revenues for the month were $185,003.63. Disbursements for the month were $195,397.89, resulting in a balance on April the 30th, 2018, $1,833,969.43. 1/4 cent sales tax revenue for April was $116,078.60. 1% county sales tax revenue for April was $264,285.40. General revenue turnback for April was $14,757.42. Highway revenue turnback for April was $93,656.32. And the 1/2% state highway tax for April was $48,598.52.
Okay. Any Quorum Court committee reports?
Judge, the road committee met and we had a good meeting with Steve from the highway department, Steve Lawrence. He told us about everything that was going on and the fact that this is just a preliminary. We're going to have public meetings coming up where the public can visit and all this. And this is just they haven't made anything permanent. They haven't even talked too much about it. This is just something that they are talking about doing, and so we did that. Also, concerning our smoking ordinance that we had talked about in our previous meeting, you and I talked about that and visited that, and that is a county judge's role as property manager, and the Quorum Court don't need to get involved in that. And you and I talked about that, and you said that you were looking at doing a non-smoking area on the courtyard and not make the whole thing, and I think that would be good.
My reason for doing that is it worries me that, we don't want to be sending them across the streets to do it in front of the businesses and stuff. So if we can designate one area there for the smoker, and I might look into maybe get one of the glass enclosures like you see for a bus stop or something, where they can go in and be out of the rain and stuff like that, I know some of these people are in these court cases and stuff are nervous and stuff like that, so.
That's the big thing that you and I talked about it, is the fact that you recognize the fact that them people are stressed out in court, and some of them, the only effort they have to cope with that is to smoke, and we don't need to take that away from them. And you also indicated that, but you don't need to put that smoke on everybody else too, so having an area where they can come and do that would be good.
Right.
I think you had a great idea.
Mr. Chairman, what was discussed on this bypass information beside, that y'all had I wasn't able to be there, and I was wondering what was discussed about.
Well, the thing that they talked about, Justice Gwen, was the fact there are 2.5 alternate routes. There's one that goes around this way and one goes around this way, and then after it gets to the end, it goes around again. The airport would split. There's one in front of the airport, one behind the airport. And they're a long ways from doing anything. They are in the process of looking at these, and they are a long ways from doing anything. This is just an idea. And he said that there'll be several public meetings, but the public can come in and talk, and there hadn't been any decisions made. And it just, it was just a information meeting. We got a long ways to go. We talked a little bit about that, and unless I live to be 100, I doubt if it does in my lifetime.
Looks like to me that line going around the airport goes right through around.
Well, yeah, that's the way it looks.
You gotta turn his throat, Joe.
Go for the juggler.
Now here, my thinking is, if you're gonna have a bypass, have a bypass. Baxter County did a super job of bypass. Well, if you have a bypass, is the city gonna, drive on the vine? No, I don't think so. Businesses will build between and to it. You see these national chains came into Baxter County that weren't there. And that happened after, after the bypass. But, yeah, my thinking is, if you're gonna have a bypass, have one. Don't have it where it's basically a Band-Aid. Get it far enough out to where it'll work. You don't have to reconsider it again in 30 years or whatever.
Well, they have just done a preliminary, they did a traffic count. Just as when we're a long way from having anything even that they can put out.
Well, here's an idea. I know that these public discussions are forthcoming, but this is an idea. 4 foot on each side of the existing bypass.
Let's go for 6 feet. Let's go for 6 feet. That'd be only,
That would be 12 feet total.
oh, okay, in each lane, you're saying?
No, I'm saying on the outside, go 4 feet on each side. That's a total of
So
8
the trucks
feet.
wouldn't have to use the center turn lane that way.
That's right. And then, it'd be a better,
Well, Mr. Steve Lawrence, the highway engineer, said he would welcome any written comments that anybody wanted to make.
There was another path, Justice Gwen, that went up through 65 north from Taco Bell on north up toward Walmart, where they widened it like Silent Springs and had 3 lanes one way, 3 lanes the other way, and a divider in the middle. But the city has sent a letter to Department of Transportation, and the city basically took the position that they like the northeast route, so they recommended that, or basically accepted that with the Department of Transportation. However, Steve Lawrence had indicated that none of those ideas are completely done. And the county, what Fred wanted to do was to get input from everybody, people, including people that live in town and out of town, because that's all part of Boone County.
Right.
And find out what the best thing is the solution, the northeast route of the bypass or the one to the left. About $30 million to run that northeast route for 2 lanes. And then later, if they wanted to expand that, they'd run another 2 lanes, which would be 4-lane bypass for another $30 million. So it'd be $60 million around the northeast. The other around the northwest through your place is around $30 million also in that area.
Any way it goes, someone will be unhappy. Okay, ready to move on?
Yeah, budget and finance met as well. Judge will have a couple of appropriation ordinances presented by a couple of members here in a little bit.
Okay. Announcements and presentations. I'll tell you what, I would like to have David, maybe you and Ralph and James kind of give us to Justice Meeks, since you guys work with him through the Quorum Court and stuff the whole time.
Give him what?
I know he didn't get along with you guys. You guys mind?
He's talking to you too. You want to do it up there at the podium?
Yeah, I think that'd be the best.
Justice Roberts, too?
Yeah, yes, Robert, would you like to say?
Yeah. Just,
I know most of the time they will work together.
just in case you cause any trouble. It takes 3 hours.
We need to have a speech watch.
Hold on. Get hands to him and we'll shake his hand.
You guys settle down.
One more time.
Get a little bit closer.
Here, let me shake your
Don't
hand.
lean back too far.
This one, yeah, this one, yeah. How you doing? Sure you can.
Are you Robert Man? How come you don't let him hold those? Let him hold those.
Oh.
Yeah, get a picture of him.
Turn that up, right? That's upside down. No, that, it's got you upside down.
Down.
Still ribbon, all right?
Always.
Always.
Evidently shaking.
Now maybe we can.
Robert, aren't you glad you drove all this way for this?
Yeah, you bet.
You want to say something?
Yeah, no, the only thing I was gonna say, when y'all was talking about this bypass, I thought, Ralph, there's houses for sale. Thank y'all very much, appreciate it.
We appreciate what you've done for us and stuff.
Someone
The
has
last
to
7 years.
Tell us what the plaque said, how many years he served.
With grateful appreciation to Robert Page for 7 years of service and dedication to Boone County in 2018.
All right. At least it should have bought you dinner, not mine.
My wife did, that's
Oh,
okay.
okay. All right. Thanks for being here, Robert. We really appreciate you.
Well, thank y'all.
Okay, we have a appointment here, appointment of Greg Morris to the Equalization Board, taking the place of Doyle and Shaddocks as a Quorum Court representative. Larry Anderson, School District Superintendent, reappointment, and Shauna Warner, City Incorporated Towns, new appointment, to serve 3-year terms on the Equalization Board. Let's see here. I know Greg is, I believe, is the only one that we have to appoint. Is that correct? I know we said that we wanted to look at his resume and check his background. And
Judge,
stuff.
I'd like to hold it for one more month, and maybe see what happens on the school board election. I see it as somewhat of a conflict. He's running the school board, and then I have some reservations that he don't have enough experience. This is a very important position, and I think we need to take our time and fill it right.
Okay.
Is that a motion, Jim?
That's a motion.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion
The table,
To hold it for 1 month.
to table it for a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Karen, what will that do to you?
Well, we'll be out of compliance a little bit with the state. They want our equalization board set by the 4th of, or the 7th of June. It's right there at June 1st, but they'll probably wait. I mean, they
Now,
can't make us.
this is just for a year, correct? You're
Yeah,
just
this
filling
is
in
just to
for-
finish out for a year, is all this
That's a
is.
recommendation, Jim. They'd like, it's strictly a recommendation. It is not in code.
How long you been in the real estate business?
15 years.
If I could read this information that Greg provided.
Okay.
And I have written copies in case everybody didn't get the email. If you want, I can hand them out. But,
It don't have to be a real estate person. That is not the code.
We've always had at least 3 realtors on the board while I've been assessor. And that was just because they were familiar with the lay of Boone County and such as that, you know. And then we always had a teacher and another person that was just out of the county. But we've always tried to have someone with a real estate background just because of their knowledge when we're talking about real estate values. But like he said, they can't stop us. I mean, there's nothing in
We have no ag back people.
Well, now, isn't he just gonna fulfill Gorwin's
1
1-year
year,
term?
just this term. And then he was gonna see if he wanted to stay on
Well,
longer.
the thing we got, there isn't anything personal in this, but we have asked for this to be, the Quorum Court to have this information ahead of time so we could look at it. I mean, we've had people come in here that I don't know anything about, and it's kind of embarrassing a little bit, and
Well, I
we got
gave,
this information today.
yeah, I gave the information to a couple of the Quorum Court members back in February. Not on these people. It was up to you all to pick your person. But the process started back in February or March. And I knew it'd take a little while to find someone.
Well, did some of the JPs pick Greg?
Yeah, Bobby was instrumental with it, and he run it by Jim.
Okay.
Karen had mentioned that to me, and I called a number of people and asking for someone who would be interested.
Okay.
Greg actually called me and said he would be interested. He'd heard that I had asked some others in the,
I've got that.
Just a smile and raise a very good point, though.
I didn't think.
Did you withdraw your motion?
No.
Okay.
Well, so we have a motion to table it till next month, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Division, I think we need to have a count on that.
Roll call.
Now, we're voting in favor of the motion, right?
To
Voting on the motion.
Voting on the
to
motion
hold
to
it,
table it.
to hold it for a year. I mean, for
A month.
That'd be over.
Yeah,
Wait,
they're gonna wanna
Is
wait.
this motion to table it, or is this motion to?
It's a motion just to table it.
For one month.
Vote the table.
Jim Hart,
No.
Ralph Quinn,
Yes.
James Widener,
You know, I don't know. I'm conflicted here. Yes.
David Thompson,
No.
Jim Mylum,
Yes.
Glenn Redding,
Yes.
Dan Roberts,
No.
Brian Snavely,
No.
Fred Wolf,
Yes.
Bobby Woods,
No.
Bill Michelle.
Yes.
6 yeses and 5 noes.
Okay.
So it is
It's tabled till
simple
next
majority
month.
on that.
Sure, we're not told that we need to talk about this in a committee meeting, too. And that way, we surely we got his information now. By then, everyone will have a chance to read it.
That would be the personnel committee? or-
Yeah, and that way when we walk
That's what we
in,
agreed in the committee when we the other night.
That we-
Pardon?
We had that came up the other night, and we all agreed that we'd get this information. Fred made it.
Right, yeah, what I'm saying though is, next committee meeting, let's have a meeting on Mr. Moore's.
Yeah, well,
you
there's
know,
somebody
That way,
else.
when we come into Quorum Court.
Could be somebody else.
Could
be somebody
There
else.
could be. Of course, you and I talked about that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I feel kind of bad because he made the trip up here and all this, and I don't know Mr. Morris from, I've not dealt with him in all my years of being here, man. But I don't want you to think this is anything personal.
May I speak?
Yes, sir.
Fellas, I know some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm an honest, hard-working man. I don't take anything personal. I understand your reservations. There are several people in this room that don't know me, several that do. This was kind of a short notice thing. You're not hurting my feelings, none whatsoever. If I were appointed, I'd be honest, hardworking, and do the best I could. If you have a better candidate, that's fine too. I'm just trying to be a part of this community. I've been here for 20 years, and I plan on being here the next 20. And if I'm not going to get my feelings hurt one way or another, I'm eager, and it's something that took my interest because I do have a lot of rentals. I'm in real estate. I've got a building background, and I'm invested in this community. If you want to wait a month or you want to choose another candidate, I'm fine either way. You're not going to hurt my feelings. So I appreciate the opportunity, and just shoot me straight and be honest, because that's how I am. So thank you for the opportunity. No hard feelings whatsoever.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Can I say one thing? We've got to have someone by the next one, because our training starts July the 10th, I think. When is your next Quorum Court meeting?
Early in June.
June.
Oh, June.
Second.
Well, surely you'll have it by then, right?
Yeah. So if you guys have another nomination,
Yeah.
we need the same thing. We need information on them.
Yeah, and let
At the
me
committee
just stress to you, when you're picking your people, we don't care the assessor's office has nothing to do with who's picked. If we would rather you pick your own people. But they need to be where they're flexible on their schedule, that they can be during the day or in the evening, because we gear it around the taxpayer. And there is some training involved, but they'll be reimbursed for it, so.
Thank you, Karen.
Are you done with my other two that were they just came so you could recognize them?
Well, that
What would
one
you guys
again,
wanna
I wanna
introduce
drill
yourself?
him. I've got several comments.
Would you guys like to stand up and introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah, Larry, go ahead.
Larry Anderson.
He's your superintendent appointment,
Hi,
the
Larry.
superintendents.
Thanks, Larry, appreciate it.
And then, come right up here, Shauna.
Hi, my name is Shauna Warner. I'm with Century 21 Action Realty.
And city
I'm-
appointment.
City appointments.
Uh-huh.
So I figured it would be a beneficial learning experience as a fairly new realtor. So I'm going to put that out there because it sounds like you want somebody with some extensive knowledge. And I would say if Greg doesn't get appointed, he'd be a better city appointment than I would. I'm just saying that because
Well,
he's got
the
15
city-
years and I got 2.
The
Thank you,
city's
Shauna.
already voted on it, so that's,
Thank you, Sean. We have no say-so over that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, city appointment is already done.
Is this position offered any way to Boone County citizens as far as putting in the paper, asking for someone to volunteer?
No,
to do
it's
that?
up to your group to pick someone. It's up to the city, the incorporated cities pick someone. The superintendents or all the schools get together and they pick someone. It's picked by the group. It's not open to the public. The group, now if they want to be on the EQ board, all they got to do is get a hold of one of you and show an interest, you know.
Well, the thing that, I think what Brian is referring to is there wasn't anything that in the paper or advertised that they were
No,
looking for.
no, they never do.
I didn't know that was, one of our duties in the absence to try to find someone, and each one of us could have a selection. And I appreciate your eagerness to serve and benefit, forward your time.
Normally, in the past, it's fell to the assessor to nominate someone, and the EQ board just took it. We would look for someone that hit the criteria that the state wanted, and so that we were in compliance. And but it's fine now. Legislation has went through that they really want it to be an equalization board independent of the
Well,
assessor's
that
office.
criteria that's required by the state, I don't know that.
Well,
Is there a way-
I've got the criteria at my office, and I've sent it to the different ones that have asked for it. Mhm.
Ms. Karen, could you share that with the whole Quorum Court?
Yes, I'll get
If you'll
everybody a
Get
copy.
it to Ms.
We'll
Shirley.
get you all an email copy, so.
That'd be
you can-
good.
Uh-huh.
We don't have to vote on that. That would be a good.
Right,
so that we're up to
right,
speed
and then
on it.
and then you'd have it, but we really need to get someone in there so we can get them, set for this next time.
The first Tuesday in June is our personnel committee meeting.
Okay.
Yes, so I'll remind you of that.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, are we ready to move on? New business? Do I have a motion to approve appropriation ordinance?
I will watch your emails, because that's how I'll get a hold of it. Larry, we'll
A
talk.
motion to approve, read, establish amount of money permitted to be charged on a Boone County credit card or to be reimbursed for out-of-town meals, sponsored by Justice Red. So moved. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
be enacted, the Quorum Court of the County of Boone, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance establishing the amount of money permitted to be charged on a Boone County credit card or to be reimbursed for out-of-town meals. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of the County of Boone, State of Arkansas, Section 1, when out of town on Boone County business or training, a Boone County employee may be reimbursed or use a Boone County credit card for meals with a maximum amount to be reimbursed per day being $50, including the trip. Including the tip. Tips are not to exceed 15%. There will be no alcoholic beverages charged to the credit card. The employee is responsible for any amount exceeding the $50 per day. Receipts are required to be turned in for reimbursement. Section 2, any provision or section of this ordinance is held invalid by a court or competent jurisdiction. Such invalidity shall not affect other provisions and sections of this ordinance, and the section of provisions and sections of this ordinance are declared to be severable. Section 3, the ordinance herein acted is an ordinance and therefore is ineffective immediately. And I would move that we go ahead and accept this ordinance.
Second.
Gentlemen, I don't think you can do that because this is not an appropriation ordinance. It doesn't appropriate money.
Okay.
It's just a regular ordinance. Y'all can put it on second reading and third reading by title only if you choose. You go ahead and pass it tonight if you need to.
I make that.
I make it. Second.
Suspend the rules and put it on it.
Second reading by title only.
So we have
Second
a
and
motion to
third. And I
suspend the
second
rules
too.
and put it on the,
Second reading by title.
this was a second reading, correct?
Well, it's been changed enough.
Should
that-
change, but this is the first
Okay,
reading.
first
We've
reading.
talked about it enough that we don't
Yeah.
necessarily, it's
But
been 2 or 3 months.
for the record, this is the first reading.
This is the first reading. and
Put it on second by title only.
You got a motion and a second to,
Who seconded it?
I did.
or somebody did. Second to
Need to
third.
do a voice roll on this?
Well, you really don't.
You can say all in favor. This is not required.
Oh, okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Okay.
Second reading by title only.
Second reading by title only. Be enacted by the Quorum Court of Boone County, Boone, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance establishing the amount of money permitted to be charged on a Boone County credit card or to be reimbursed for out-of-town meals.
I'd make a motion at this point to suspend the rules, put it on its third reading. Second by title.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay?
Third reading, be enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Boone, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance establishing the amount of money permitted to be charged on Boone County credit card or to be reimbursed for out-of-town meals.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Okay, roll call. First, is there any discussion?
We've already had a lot of
Belly's
that.
I just wanted to ask, because I've been keeping up with that.
David Thompson,
Yes.
Jim Mylum,
Yes.
Glenn Redding,
Yes.
Dan Roberts,
Yes.
Brian Snavely,
Yes.
Fred Wolf,
Yes.
Bobby Woods,
Yes.
Bill Michelle,
Yes.
Jim Hart,
Yes.
Ralph Quinn,
Yes.
James Widener.
Yes.
And the 12th of June is the next month's meeting. Can't read lips very well.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to figure out what you were talking about, and I'm like,
I want to say that $50 is less than what the state allows on theirs. I hope that made everybody happy to reduce the amount of it and make it one simple fee.
Yeah, I think it'll make everybody happy.
Okay, appropriation number 2, to cover the cost owed to AAC workers' comp for the year 2018 due to recalculations by workers' comp, sponsored by Justice White.
I move we place this on its reading. It's only one, requires one reading, so I move we read this ordinance.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Boone, State of Arkansas, ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending the annual budget for Boone County for the fiscal year 2018 and authorizing the county judge to administer such budget for other purposes. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Quorum Court of the County of Boone, State of Arkansas, the following appropriation ordinance is made for, from the General Fund 1,000 to 1,000-0100-1010, County Judge, Personal Services, Workers' Comp, $892. This sum, $892, is the amount owed to AAC Workers' Comp for the year 2018 due to recalculation of workers' comp. The amount due AAC has been changed. If any provision of this ordinance, or if any provision or section of this ordinance is held invalid by court of competent jurisdiction, such invalidity shall not affect other provisions and sections of this ordinance, and to such end, the provisions and sections of this ordinance are declared to be severable. This ordinance herein enacted is an appropriation ordinance and therefore is effective immediately. I move we adopt it.
Second. Any discussion?
I move to amend, please. This refers to the year 2017, not 2018. I have the workers' comp report here. This is the audit report, and that's for 2017, not 18.
2018 wouldn't be in yet, would it? 2018 wouldn't have been in yet, so.
The total was 230.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Scrivener's error, you can change that.
Yep.
But that's got to be paid in 2018.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, if he makes a motion, we can say it.
Well,
Yeah. Just correcting your Scrivener's error is what you did.
one of the things that, and I should keep my mouth shut, but I'm not going to. I've had a couple of people call me about all these amendments to our appropriations, that we're not doing a good job on our budget, if we're keeping having to amend them and all this. And I kind of argue with about this. This has nothing to do with our budgeting. This is just things that have happened over the year. I thought we've done a pretty good job with our budget.
The budget that we do, what has to do with how accurate it was when we do the cleanup ordinance. And I know 2 or 3 years ago, it was like $11, and this year, I think it was under just a couple of hundred. I can't remember exactly what it was this year, but that is more of a measure of your accurate budget than a bill that comes in late.
Right, I understand that.
This is more likely an audit. You know, if you have a private business, your workers' comp audits at the end of every year. Sometimes they adjust your premium.
It was pointed out that it was caused, I think, by in part by one extra day in the pay year last year. And then actually there was a comment in some of the information that we had that it, the fluctuating and changing, you had 2 more employees last year in the road department, than the previous year. Just, they might not have been aware of everything that we were doing, and we weren't at the first of the year. If we hire somebody, well, that changes, and then that changes your end of the year amount. And they probably don't notice until we get into a deficit situation.
They probably don't notice till they audit themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. I think,
End of the year is audit.
Right.
Came out a little red number, and they go, oh, that don't look red.
Okay, we got a first and we got a second. Do we need to roll call? Roll call?
Jim Mylan,
Yes.
Glenn Redding,
Yes.
Dan Roberts,
Yes.
Brian Snavely,
Yes.
Fred Wolf,
Yes.
Bobby Woods,
Yes.
Bill Michelle,
Yes.
Jim Hart,
Yes.
Rob Quinn,
Yes.
James Widener,
Yes.
David Thompson.
Yes.
And the scribble error will be straightened out. Thanks, Dan, for bringing it to our attention. Okay. Any comments from the public? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I have something,
Oh,
Mr. Chairman.
go ahead.
Has to do with the committee meeting last Monday night. Chairman Wool indicated that that was not a public meeting. That's been bugging me all week long. And it just so happened I had asked Donald Ragland to submit an Attorney General's opinion for me. And I haven't heard from mine yet, but he did send me 2 previously Attorney General opinion that cover that subject. and I'll read an excerpt from one of them. Except as otherwise specifically provided by law, all meetings, formal or informal, special or regular, of a governing bodies of all counties shall be public meetings. And then another excerpt. All meetings of a county government, governing body, board, committee, or any other entity created or subordinate to a county government shall be open to the public, except as provided in subsection 2. Subsection 2 has to deal with employment, raises, firings, and so forth. So I don't want us to get in trouble later on down the line by saying something is not a public meeting. Apparently, everything we do is a public. One of these is yours, Jim, that you submitted.
I know, Mr. Michelle, yes, Michelle, I know in all our committee meetings and stuff, you know, the public's invited. We do advertising and stuff. And I'm not, you know, trying to guess what Mr. Wolf meant, but I know we ask for comments, you know, from the public. But we gotta control how much comment we get, or
Well,
we'll be there all
you
night
set
long.
rules. It plainly
Right,
says,
exactly.
Quorum
Just
Court
like this
sets
here.
rules to control the meetings, yeah.
Well, now, if you'll look at what the minutes said, it says this is a road committee meeting. It's open to the public. It is not a public meeting.
Oh, yeah, it was a public meeting, there's no doubt. It was conducted just like a public meeting.
That wasn't a hearing. It wasn't a hearing.
It don't make
It
any
was-
difference.
A hearing is for a specific purpose on a
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
These committee meetings are on but they're all public
That's
meetings.
correct. They are.
You're
Public,
calling
but
it something
the-
other,
the-
the, you know,
The
restriction
public can
is.
come in, but unless we ask them, they don't have the right to say anything. They
Unless
have
they're
a
on the
right
agenda or
to,
something.
they have a right to be here, but they don't have a right to get up and say anything.
Did you attend that meeting, Bill?
Yes.
Okay, so you saw that they did ask questions.
Oh, yeah, it was a public meeting.
Oh, yeah, great,
It
yeah.
was, there's no.
I think what he meant is he was talking about like the highway department's gonna have a public forum type meetings to
Yeah.
get input on the bypass. And that's kind of what his committee wants to do, is to get input from people that live in the county and in the city, because it affects both. And then I think the county might be good to send a letter to the Department of Transportation, as the city did, once we figure out what might be best for the citizens. Get a little input from them.
I guess I'm
I understand what
missing-
you're saying, it was the terminology of.
It's
him
just
saying-
terminology, because it was a public meeting,
Sure,
there's no
sure,
doubt.
sure, they
Everybody
all are.
said what they wanted to say, but it just, I don't know.
They're all public.
Didn't want the newspaper to report it was a not public meeting, and then us get in trouble.
I think you meant it's not open to the public to participate.
We ask them.
Well, but he did end up asking.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, he said
It
it
becomes
wasn't
a
open to the
public meeting then.
What we ask is that they be on the agenda if they want to speak.
Yeah.
That way we've got control over, you know, who speaks and how long it lasts.
This program is brought to you as a public service of KTKO Channel 8, Harrison.